So today is a pretty bleak reading in the Old Testament. It's in Lamentations, and as you probably heard yesterday, one of the things that Lamentations is it's a series of 5 poems. So each chapter is actually a different poem or a song, and they're 22 verses long each, and they're 22 verses long because there's 22 letters in the Hebrew alphabet, so they're acrostic poems. Each verse begins with a different letter of the Hebrew alphabet, with the one exception of chapter 3, which is 66 verses long because it does the same thing 3 times. And in these poems, it's attributed to Jeremiah. The poet is wandering around the ruined city of Jerusalem. Jerusalem was destroyed in 586 BC by the Babylonians. And as he wanders around it, he's just devastated by the destruction that he's witnessed, and he's just trying to make sense of it. There were some hopeful verses yesterday, but today really is kind of bleak. So it begins with this call to repentance. Let us examine our ways and test them. Let us return to the Lord our God. Repentance is always important. If we've done something wrong, it's not simply enough just to say sorry. Repentance is stronger than saying sorry. It's a turn. The word means to turn around. So it's like, I'm going to change my actions here before you, God. I'm going to resolve that I will not do the same thing again. I'm going to turn around my life. So there is that call to repentance, but then you get into the poem that's in chapter 4, and really this is just the guy describing what he's seeing in front of him, and he just can't get over the fact that you have a lot of it is comparisons between before and after. You have these children, precious in Zion, worth their weight in gold, now considered like clay pots in the potter's hands. You've got princes who were whiter than milk and, appeared like jewels, and now they just seem like soot, and they're just shriveled bones wandering around. You have this tragic description of women. Their own hands, compassionate women, have cooked their own children who became their food when my people were destroyed. So he's seen women actually having to cook their own children as Jerusalem was put under siege and the hunger became so bad. And it doesn't end on a particularly hopeful note either. So towards the end, he kind of turns to God at the end of chapter 5 and says, "Why do you always forget us? Why do you forsake us so long?" And then it's kind of restore to us, Lord, but then it ends with, "unless you've utterly rejected us forever." What are we to make of this incredibly bleak passage? First of all, let's not sugarcoat it. It's horrific what's happened here. Secondly, I do find it comforting that in the Bible there's such pain and such struggle, because that's what I find in my life, even as a follower of Jesus, real seasons of pain and doubt and questioning. When our son was born, he had to go into special care, and he was there for a week. And that was a really scary time for my wife and I. And I turned to parts of the Bible that were bleak, and in there I found solace that there were other followers of God who needed to ask these questions as well. And I don't think we can draw much comfort from this passage, but I do think as we move on to the New Testament reading for today, God's final word, his Son, and his ultimate answer to all of our questions is this final word of Jesus Christ. In him, I do think we find comfort.